Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Princella, the Queenmaker.
How you doing? Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
to the show. I think the last time I saw you was actually in person on the Isaiah Carey Factor.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You was kicking up dust then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Straight out the gate, I need to know. Because you're kicking up a lot of dust right now. And I do not want to come off as dismissive or insensitive, but I need to know. Mm-hmm. And I say this from the depths of my soul. Who hurt you?
Well, when you live life, everybody gonna get hurt in this life. It ain't about if you get hurt, though. It's about, do you heal and do you learn from your lessons? So just living life, ain't nobody hurt me to the point where I can't bounce back, but I learned a lot. So just everyday stuff in the world, just dealing with humans. Humans hurt everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
True. But somebody hurt you specifically because you are hard on men. Like, am I right to assess that you have a particular disdain for men?
No, because if you ask the women think I'm hard on them. I'm actually harder on women than I am on men. But see, all y'all see is what I say about men. So what I figured out is that y'all know y'all nature. Come on. Y'all actually depend on women to pretty y'all up. So when a woman don't pretty the man up and just call it like it is, I've been around men for over 25 years. So I know the game. So seeing y'all and being able to speak what you do, it comes off, oh, she hate men. But how can I hate men when growing up, most of my associates were male? But I've been in the military, 8 years in the military, male dominated. You don't think I see stuff with them? If I'm going to the studio, because I rap too, Willie. I've been in the studio, been around men. I played football, basketball, I ran track, rifle team. I think I know a little something about men. And then on top of that, yes. Oh, I sold cars 3.5 years, male-dominated industry. I've dated men, been friends with them, observed them in the work environment. I think I know a little bit about men. My last dealing with a man, it was 2 guys that just really sealed the deal for me. And one of them was supposed to be a friend of mine. And he tried to set me up for a large lump sum of money. Right? Played the long game to try to position me to take some money from me. Well, after you get played, before you learn life, you got to take some L's first. And every L you take, it's a lesson in that. And so I started to notice a pattern dealing with men, putting it all together. I just came to a conclusion. Hey, this is who men are by nature. This is their game. That's what it is. So instead of me playing with fire and continuing to get burned, trying to make men seem like they're these figures that they're not, just deal with men as they are instead of what you want them to be. That's really what it is. But because I'm not out there, oh, I need a man, oh, black kings, because I'm not saying that, I must hate men. But if you ask the women, they think I'm far harder on them than I am on the men.
So these women that you speak of, these are queens, or are these just women and you're going to make them a queen because you are the queen maker?
I'm the queen maker,
and
right?
You take these. So before they meet you, they are just pawns. They're merely pawns.
Correct. Right.
You're going to make them out of a queen.
I'm going to make them out of a queen.
By decoding love, men, and manipulation.
Correct.
Now, when did you get on this journey of decoding love, men, and manipulation?
Okay, so before the manipulation thing came about and before the men thing came about, the love thing was dropped on me in 2016. And this was like a download. It just came out of the sky. And I was given this concept, and I call it the 5 components of love. Now, I wrote a book on this concept in 2018, and I published it in 2019. But this book had absolutely nothing to do with men. It really focused solely on the concept of love. 2 years after that, which was 2021, is when I came to the conclusion that men were incapable of love. And I based my assessment from the book that I wrote, The 5 Components, and constantly seeing the failures in not just my relationships, but all of the people around me, listening to people. I came to the conclusion that the reason that y'all having these problems is because you're dealing with people who are incapable of love. So women are trying to squeeze something out of men. It's like trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. And if you stop doing that, your life could probably be a little better. While I was on TikTok trying to sell my book, this is when I came up with the workshop, Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded, because I was trying to explain the concept of the 5 components of love and why I came to the conclusion that they were incapable. So I started mapping this out, and it turned into the workshop that I have. When it comes to manipulation, now, 2 of my associates throughout life were actual pimps, okay? One of the pimps I never met, but he would always tell me the game on men. The other one would do that too, but I knew this one in person. This was the one that tried to set me up for a boatload of money. But I read...
Did y'all have a romantic relationship?
No, it wasn't like that. No, what he wanted to do a podcast with me. But he was trying to set me up to do all the work, but benefit from all of the work that I was doing. Okay. So with them, this is how I was introduced to like Pimpin' Ken's information and all of that stuff. So what I started doing was putting the dots together, because by the time he tried to run game on me, I'm like, man, do you think you my pimp or something, right? So I found out the game. I was like, you know what? This is it. This is just the nature of men. This is just who they are. So women are constantly complaining and confused about why men, they're having the relationships that they're having with men. So it's like this. Okay, if this is really a problem, men do tell you to choose better. And I'm totally agreeing with that. Women need to choose better. But to know better is to do better. You can't do better if you don't know better. So I decided to teach women better, breaking it down through what I have called the 41 Shades of Men. Once I give you the information on men and you totally see this from a neurological and biological and psychological perspective on the male's nature, now the onus is all on you, because you can't change a man. You cannot make him become a cat. You can't make him become a woman. A man is who he is. So now, what hand do you have in it? And what I come to find out is after you finish talking about men, women hold 90% of the responsibility. So this is why, even though I say what I say about men, women see that I have a harder fist on them, because in my mind, most men are incapable of doing all of the stuff that women want them to do.
What do women want men to do?
The reality is women want men to be their personal slaves. Women want men to placate to this fantasy that they have in their mind. And women got a lot of fantasies. Women want men to be these aggressive vessels that have a woman's nature. This is what they want. It's like they want their cake and eat it too. So they are addicted to sex, but to justify their sexual addictions, since they can't stay away from it, they have to try to make the man become a version of a woman that they like sleeping with, right? So she has a movie in her head, and she has roles that she has slots for. And there's a slot that she has for a romantic partner that only a man can be cast as. So she's willing to cast any kind of man and put him in this role. And if he's going to play this role, he has to do every single thing that she wants him to do. Pay the bills, keep your sexual organs only to me. I'm going to trap your eyes. You can't see no other woman in the world. You focus on me and on me only. And you give me all your money, right? And if he don't do everything that she want him to do, the relationship don't work. So what I've come to find out is men are narcissistic, but women are 1,000 times more narcissistic than men, because women want to be the center of the universe, right? So if you find out everything that you find out about men and you're still trying to approach them the way that you approach them, ultimately the problem lies on the woman, because the male follows her. The male is a reflection of the woman. So no matter what I say about men, it's all gonna circle back to what women want, and men are jumping to everything that women desire. Right? That's the problem.
You said in a recent video that I saw, well, in a video that I saw recently, that you realize how hard it is for men to be men after you dated a woman. Expound on that.
Okay. So, like I just told you, I've been around males for 25 plus years. I'm a tomboy. Ex-military, football, but I've never really had female friends. I grew up in a male-dominated. So I understand males a lot more than I understand women. However, I've been through the same things that women are complaining about with males. So when I first started my journey helping women, I thought that a lot of women thought like me. But I come to find out they don't. So my third girlfriend, because it wasn't the first two girlfriends I had, it was the third girlfriend that really made me see. And it wasn't just her. It was the responses that I got from breaking up with her from a lot of women. And I realized that she was the one that made me realize that women are totally entitled and lazy. It might appear that women are not lazy because they do the bulk of the housework and all this stuff. It might appear that they're not lazy. But the only reason that they're doing that is because they're trying to force men to see that they don't need any other woman. Like, women voluntarily take on all of the responsibilities so that she can say that my man don't need no other woman. So this is self-inflicted. She's not doing it because it's got to be done. She's doing it to control the man. So when it comes to the modern, quote unquote, woman, the modern woman, I'm realizing that, wait a minute, you want me to stop? I'm trying to go to an interview and you're making me late. And I got to go to a gas station, brand new gas station. Why don't we go and take care of everything at one spot so we can just get on the road? You want me to stop before the gas station to take you to a special place to use the restroom. Now you talking to somebody. I done slept in the woods, having to dig foxholes, going to porta potties. I done drove trucks, being in the oil field, using porta potties out there, stopping at truck stops, taking showers. This is me. So for me to stop at a gas station to use the restroom, that's nothing. But for her, I don't use the restroom. It was beneath her. It's beneath her. And if I was with a man, he would stop and take me to the restroom to use whatever restroom I wanted. And then all the women, see, it was the women. It was if it was just her that way, I'm like, okay, bitch, you crazy. But for the collective of women that's watching this, and as I'm telling the story, it's a slew of women that was like, that's your girl. You're supposed to take her, and she's the queen. And I'm like, what is wrong? I said, is this really how y'all are in relationships? Is this what you expect from men in relationships? Because if this is what you expect from men in a relationship, you got me twisted as a woman because, ma'am, we're both women. And if you think that because you have a vagina that I'm supposed to treat you like a simp would treat you, you got me twisted, right? And I started to see that, a lot of women do think like this, like the world revolves around them. They use sex as a manipulative tool, but when you're in a lesbian setup, you don't have that power for sex over a woman that you would have over a man. So a lot of these women, they want women in a male body, but they like the perceived power that they can get by manipulating men with sex.
Is that why so many of these dudes today, these really soft, crooked landing plane dudes, they get a lot of these women, these women are having sex with these dudes and having babies, but they immediately, after they get the baby, they gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're not staying with these dudes. They're procreating with them, but they're not staying with them. I do suspect that women, at the end of the day, I think all women, I could be wrong. Well, I ain't gonna say all women, but most women. I think most women like a man's man. I think most women like men who are aggressive, not necessarily domineering, but aggressive, who are hunters, who are men's man. And I see a lot of these dudes today, they got money, but they got women type ways.
Yeah.
They got ways like women. Some of them even dress like women. They dance like women. Some of them talk like women. They look like women. So that underscores the point that you were making.
See, it's a weird dynamic with a woman, and this is why I understand why men can't figure out what women want. I totally understand why men are confused about what women want, because women actually play both sides of the fence on what they want. Women actually have a delusion in their mind. They really are delusional. So, women actually like aggression. They do. That is from a biological point of view of an alpha male. See, an alpha male and an alpha man are two different things.
Exactly.
Okay. So an alpha male, we're talking about on an animalistic level, okay, how he can dominate other males physically. When we start talking about a man, we're talking about somebody who has mental control. Women don't like alpha men. They like alpha males. And the reason why women don't like alpha men is because alpha men have self-discipline. They have self-discipline and sexual control where they can't be easily manipulated by women. Women like weak men. Women like sexually weak men because the only power that a lot of women have over a man is sex. And if she can't get you to fall for her sex, she's going to get mad. Women don't like to be rejected. They don't. So coming up against an alpha male alpha man who's not going to be easily manipulated or dominated, that woman's not going to really deal with him. She will go to a alpha male who is sexually domineering, right? Because she likes to get smutted out. But she won't deal with a simp to get her way because she wants somebody that's going to give him. But the alpha male is going to use her. He's going to drain her, but she's addicted to that thrill for him, right? She'll deal with an alpha man too if she feels like he's taking care of her, but ultimately she ends up dealing with a pimp in that regard. Because pimps have self-control, a lot of them, right? Because that's the only way that you can run a pimp game and be a high-level pimp is if you have self-control. So she'll gravitate to that type of guy. She'll gravitate to a more feminized man just so she can manipulate him and get her way, and she'll cheat with an alpha male. So this is the reason why a lot of men cannot understand what women want, because women don't know what they want. They gravitate to anything based on their emotions for the moment and their needs for that moment.
I know what women want. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the few men in the world that know what women want.
What's that?
Everything.
It's the truth. They want it all, which is the reason why sales and marketing campaigns typically gravitate to promote that you can have it all. If you got to sell a marketing campaign, because marketing is based on what people respond to, is really based on the human nature, responses by human natures and psychology. So they do a lot of psychological work to see what people will respond to. And what they found out is that women are greedy and they want to be the center of the universe. So we're going to market this to you to say that women can have it all. If you are about having it all, that shows how narcissistic you are. And there's no such thing as having it all, because you have to make compromises. You have to give up something to get something. You can't go left and right at the same time. So to market to somebody that they can have it all also tells them you can have your cake and eat it too. And women are doing everything in their power to find out how they can have their cake and eat it too. And so what I tell women, I say, you really want a woman in a man's body. So to be honest, since that's what you're looking for, what you need to do is just get you a trans man. But that's too much like right, ain't it? I mean, it's the truth though.
Yeah. Yeah. What does a traditional family nucleus reimagined look like to you?
Okay. So if we want a functioning society, the truth about it is it takes a village to raise a child. And why does it take the village? Which means that you need an extended family unit, not a nuclear family unit. Because, see, a nuclear family unit creates a really dangerous dynamic for everybody, including the children, right? Extended family, you have the uncles, grandmothers, aunts, all of that really connected, which creates the village. Because after a certain age, the child begins to stop listening to the parents. They might take advice from other people, aunts, friends, and everything, but they won't listen to you. This is a natural rebellion process in child development, right? We understand that really the honest thing is the safest way and the most productive way for a man is to be working outside of the house, even if he's gone for extended periods of time, whether it be through the military, deployment, or truck driving. The male should be outside of the house because it's more conducive to his nature. But if there's a nuclear family set up, what ends up happening? If he's gone, the children are all on top of the mother, right, with no other line of support for her. So this runs her down because humans, we only have enough energy to expend. Well, if you leave a boy with a mother, there's a whole host of issues that can result from that male not being under a natural male dominance hierarchy, by him being disconnected from that. And by him being too connected to his mother can cause another whole host of problems psychologically for the male that will impede his development on the outside. How do you fix this problem? As opposed to sending them off, giving the mother a break by sending them to a public school or something, how do you combat that? Extended family and community support. Well, the problem is we live in an individualistic society now where everybody is an individual. You don't say nothing to my child, that's my son. You don't say nothing. Well, guess what? When we were growing up, on the whole block, everybody knew everybody. It was like we was family with our next door neighbors. So if one goes out, Sarah know what you're doing, Miss Jane know what you're doing, and everybody's got their eyes on you. So you can't hide and get away with nothing because they going to call your mom and everybody's going to hold you accountable. With individuals now disconnected from each other, people just look, that ain't my child, and they turn their back. So when the child leaves the house, they know that they got free reign to do whatever they want because nobody in the community is going to hold them accountable, right? So if we're going to have a fixed society, we have to bring back the extended family and we have to bring back community support, which means that we have to get back into grassroots work, grassroots politics. We have to get back into community schooling. Like, we too far gone as humans to even go back to what actually works. But nuclear family was never it. Nuclear family is part of the reason why all of the problems existed, because even during the World War, when the men had to leave, right? When the men left and went to the World War, all the women had to take all of these jobs. Well, when they came back, the men didn't really have a role. So what ended up happening, because prior to father, their identity being branded as being a father, they were actually being branded to be soldiers to go die in the wars. Once they came back injured, we needed to find something that we could do for the males, because they came back from the war and there's nothing for them to do. So let's make them American dads now. Well, now this is a problem, because now there is a psychological issue with the man where he doesn't know what he brings to the table. And now the woman is in there doing all of these duties. Now he feels inferior. Like, this is a whole lot of issues. But on top of that, they birthed a whole lot of children that nobody knew how to develop and raise, because most humans are not studying child development. They're not studying human psychology. So they're just trying things. And, well, I didn't like how this felt when I grew up, so I'm going to do my child differently. And I'm going to give my child everything that I didn't have, which ends up screwing up the child's nature. And there's nobody with an actual philosophy or a moral compass or code of ethics where they're all in the community rolling on the same philosophy that can reinforce what the parents teach. Everybody on their own thing now, and nobody knows what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. That's one of the biggest reasons why we have so much chaos in society at large. And that's not just Black community, for those of you who are sitting back thinking they're talking about them. No. We're talking about American society because, to your point, we do not care about our neighbors. We don't love our neighbors. We don't love our neighbors' children. And they don't love us, and they don't love our children.
Right.
And this is why it's so easy for outsiders to come into the neighborhood and wreak havoc. This is why you have so many dangerous people who's seeking refuge in our communities, who gets a pass. They're in the community, destroying the community. But they're treated like kings at times. They're treated like queens. And they're detriments to the community. They got to go. It don't matter, like, whether they, are black, white, or, they come from the inside or the outside. If you ain't helping, you're hurting.
Correct.
And so those who are hurting, they got to go. And we got to be okay with that. And that it also just to extend your point about extend some commentary on your point about people doing their own thing. We living in this individual or this individualistic society, right? We do the same thing when it comes to. We do the same thing when it comes to just getting out, right? Many of us who get out, we're kind of taught to get out and don't look back.
Correct.
Like, don't bring nobody with you. Like, get out. Just run far as far as you can. And we're seeing the effects of it. And the trip part about it is that a lot of us are still asleep at the wheel. We don't know that.
Yeah, so it's almost to a point that no matter what you do is going to produce a problem, because it's two sides to every coin, always. There's a pro and a con to everything that you do. And so even if you want to do community work, the reality that you got to come to is that you're dealing with a whole bunch of individuals that you have to inspire to make personal change who don't want to make personal change. And so then you have to say, okay, well, I'm going to just go at it alone. But if you go at it alone, now you disconnected from other people who you need networks with, right? So no matter what you do, it's almost another problem that's going to be created out of that situation. So the way I approach helping people, because it's really a humanitarian move that I'm making. I gave the example earlier to a group of people, and I said, if you break your arm, your wrist, or your toe, when you come to planet Earth, everybody's going to be hurt. It's inevitable that you're going to experience pain in this life. But if you break something and you let it heal on its own, it's probably going to heal incorrectly. And you might have to go to the doctor, and they see that your toe broke, but it healed incorrectly. What are they going to have to do? they're going to have to break it again and reset it in order for it to heal properly. Time heals all wounds, but they never said if it was going to heal properly or improperly. What you find is that people get broken in society and that they heal, but they heal improperly. And in order to fix people, you have to break them. You have to break them. Truth hurts. And the only thing that's going to set people free is the truth. The one thing that humans don't like, nobody like the truth about themselves. Nobody. And anytime you tell the truth about somebody, the first thing they call it is bashing. Oh, you bashing. You hate. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you're projecting. Well, who hurt you? Everybody hurt. Let's keep it a book. If you grow up in the world, you're hurt, right? Somebody hurt you. And it's all attributed to interaction with other humans. So now how do we learn the lessons from the trauma and the pain that we endure? Because every painful experience has a lesson in it. And you'll continue to repeat the cycles until you break the pattern. Humans are pattern-driven people that have no self-awareness. And in order to change the world, to change any community, to change the outcome, there has to be a level of self-awareness per individual. But nobody wants to have the hard discussions. No. Let's just throw tomatoes at the person that's making us look at ourselves, right? So we can't have a strong society without strong individuals. And strong individuals are cultivated through self-awareness and self-discipline and self-mastery. And that is something that we've lost on both sides of the equation, male and female, because it's male and female who create the world that we live in. So ultimately, it is the mentality of all humans that we have to address in order to change anything. Well, most people know that that's far too difficult to do, and they don't take on that burden, and they just go live their life. That's where you get a lot of individualism from, you know. So I'd rather get down to the root of the issue as opposed to all of the surface level talk that most people do. Because when you listen to males and females, basically they're just in a sex war. They're in a sex, ego, and power war. Everybody wants to force the other one to bend to their will.
Yeah.
That's it.
Speaking of sex.
Yes.
What do you say to people who say that, you don't like men, or like you don't like older men dating younger women because you've hit a wall and you're not as desirable as you was when you're younger, so you try to shame men into not dating younger women. And I'm asking this specifically because I was in your comments on one of your videos, and people were insinuating that, and outright making those claims.
Well, they can make those claims, but I'm not in the market for a man, right? Let me tell you, men gonna sling phallus to anybody willing to take it. This idea that women hit the wall is a fallacy, because
there's no wall.
There's no wall, because the men will sleep with anything and anybody, right? Now, because here's the thing. These men are not wanting relationships with people. It's all about having sex. Now, what do men want? What do they prefer? The ultimate who they prefer to have sex with is younger chicks. I'm not trying to compete to be screwed. I'm not trying to compete to lay on my back. I'm not trying to compete to give over all of my agency to a man. I have no interest in cooking, cleaning, worshiping no man, stroking no ego, helping you build your dreams. I don't have that desire. So this idea that I would talk to girls to keep them from being wanted by a man, as long as he's driven by sex, which is his nature, is always going to be finding a warm hole to stick it in. Don't matter if she's 18, 15, 47. It ain't going to matter. So I don't live like that.
87.
Oh, 87.
You know, this dude, I saw the little young dude, this little white kid, I think he was like, they say he was like 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He violated this elderly lady.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is recently.
Right.
He violated this elderly lady. Like, I don't even know how he did it. I don't, as far as like, I don't know how you get your brain. I don't know how you wrap your brain around something like that. But he violated this elderly lady that was, I think this lady was like in her 80s or 90s.
That's wild. I read something even wilder yesterday. You want to know what it was? Grandson was screwing his grandmother. He saw her naked, and she was 60 years old, and he was like, that's the finest woman I done seen, and he started sleeping with his grandmother. Like, so...
Now, that is repulsive. It is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. 60 years old ain't what it used to be.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
You women today, y'all 60-year-olds today, man, y'all put my grandma to shame. like that's no disrespect to grandma, and I love my grandma to death.
That's
man.
what I'm saying. Ain't no
but
wall.
These different 60-year-olds, these women today, man, y'all like clowning like 30-year-olds today, so that's different. But yeah, that is disgusting,
Yes.
But how did we sink so damn low?
Sex, because I understand why religion demonized sex. Like I was telling my audience that I totally get why sex was looked at as a sin, because it is the most dangerous energy given to infantile human beings. I mean, that's just the bottom line, right? Humans cannot handle this powerful energy because this energy catapults them to do all kind of things, and they have no self-control. They have no sense of morality and no sense of ethics, right? And to live like that, to have discipline over your own body, the people cannot do it. And to have that, you have to live by higher virtue. And you have to have a level of willpower and self-discipline to go against your own nature. The humans are losing against their own nature, right? And so nobody wants to hear the dark sides of themselves. For somebody to get out and say, this is who you are, show you a mirror, man, that demons don't like the light. Vampires don't like mirrors, right? And so this is ultimately what we're dealing with. And the people who are, because humans are hedonistic, pleasure seekers, you cannot get them to stop seeking pleasure, because that's too painful, because humans are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. They don't want to go through pain, and to tell somebody to have sexual discipline, that's too painful for them. You know how painful it is for a man to have to deny his own nature? We understand that males are sexual creatures, right? And that sex for a man is far more of a need than just a regular want, right? So to tell this man to really go against the need to release, that's a lot of willpower that the man got to have, right?
If that's the case, Princella, if that's the case, why do women enter relationships with men and withhold sex?
Remember I told you, women like the idea of having sexual power over a man. They like weak men.
But it's not going to work.
I know it's not going to work.
It's not going
That's
to
why
work.
I told you it's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and women want their cake and eat it too. I told you, women have a delusional mentality, right? They want to be the center of attention. The reason why women are illogical, like I am not illogical by a long shot, but I come to find out that women are extremely illogical. On paper, the facts show that men benefit from marriage. Men benefit from having a woman in their lives. This is a scientific fact.
Break it down.
Right? So men experience pain, physical pain, inflammation when they experience 2 or more breakups, or when they live alone for a period of 6 years or more. It physically hurts men to actually break up. This ain't got nothing to do with love. This has to do with some form of attachment that is happening once a man is connected to a woman in a way. And if she breaks up with him, whether she goes cold turkey or she stays in until she is totally disgusted and then she decides to leave. Something happens to a man where he feels physical pain. Men cannot handle loneliness. When you look at the statistics, men's lives are extended because women are in their lives. Women are the ones that typically create the social. She handles pretty much everything. She gets him to go to the hospital when he won't take care of himself. It's women that really extend the lifespan of a man. She does the cooking and all of this stuff. On paper, men are the ones who benefit from marriage. Women don't. But who is the one that's begging for marriage? It's women. Men actually don't want to get married. The women do. It's like the women are totally dependent on a relationship with a man to give up all of their labor, value, sex, all of that.
But you know, I just don't think that a lot of women who are wanting to be married wants to actually be a wife.
They don't. No,
they just want to get married.
They want
to
the
go
wedding.
through they want the wedding. They want everybody to look at them and them to be the center of attention.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So when she gets married, in her mind, this is me being the best woman in the world. Ain't none of you bitches as good as me because I got the ring and look at my wedding. That's what's going, like it's a pageant, it's something in her head. Then she believes that has given her the eternal mortgage or deed on a man. Now she owns his eyes. You can't see nobody else but me. Now she owns his phallus. You can't put it nowhere else but in me. Your money belong to me. And so it's not even about the woman will fight another woman over the man. She knows ultimately the man's nature. But instead of looking at the man is going to go here and there because that's his nature, she will fight every woman around the perimeter. Why did you give him an opportunity to cheat? Why did you touch my man? He can't cheat if you don't help him cheat. Like, the women want to be the center of attention. So if she believes that she got a weak enough man that won't go nowhere, she'll withhold sex from him to think that he won't cheat on her because she wants power over him to get him to submit to her will. If she deals with somebody that she can't have that kind of control over, she'll throw temper tantrums. Women will get very aggressive, passive-aggressive. Women have a way of being violent without necessarily always putting their hands on you. But this is a control issue. This is not love. It's control for both parties. But when you start to get into how controlling women are, women can be very, very sadistic. They can be very, very manipulative, right? It's not about loving no man. Actually, women don't even like men. They don't like you.
You know you rub people the wrong way when you make these broad generalizations, right? Because I'm sure there's some women screaming right now at their phone, at their computer screen, like, I love my man.
Let me ask you this question.
My husband. I love men. What are you talking about?
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you spend all your energy trying to change something that you like to be something that you actually like?
No.
Do women spend their lifetime trying to change a man?
Pretty much.
So what they trying to change him into? Because if they like the man, then why are you spending all your energy trying to change him into something that you actually like? If women liked men, why don't women listen to men when they talk? If women liked men, why anytime a man speaks about what's going on with him, why they call it mansplaining? So he can shut up. If women liked men, why aren't women seeking to understand the people that they say they like? Because men understand a lot more about women than women understand about men. And men have to understand women. You know why? Because sex don't come easy to y'all. You have to put in the work to figure out what a woman wants in order for you to get.
I mean, it don't come easy unless you the gangster love.
Right.
Like, that's cleaned up man. That's different. That's a different category. But go ahead. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Yeah. So the majority of men don't just have peaches falling in their lap. They got to figure out how to get the peach. So men have to be attentive. They have to be observant. They have to test. Let me test this. Let me try this. Okay, this don't work. This don't work. Bingo. This what she respond to. She like that. Fuck what she say, because a pair of lips will say anything.
Say, man. Say. Okay.
Pair of lips will say anything. So what she respond to? This what she respond to. This is how men start to figure out women. Women don't have to do that, though, because sex come easy to them, because the biological base of humans is sex. So she don't have to do that for sex, which allows her to live in fantasy land and be totally ignorant of what makes a man a man. So now she bargains and trades sex for him to play in her fantasy world. And if he don't do it, he's dusty. He is not man enough. If a woman really liked a man, he gay. If a man turn her down and she can't get her way, you must be gay. If women like men, then why is that the reality and not women actually seeking to understand the party that they say they like so much? You like a man, then why are you trying to change everything that makes the man the man? Why are you trying to transform him into a woman? See, you hate other women. It's too much like right to just get you a girlfriend if you want all of these feminine characteristics. No, you want to force him to do it. I was listening to Cam Newton when he was talking to Dr. Sarah, and she goes in to say that her parents been together for like 30 years. But her mama was doing all this work because her daddy slipped a disc in his back. And so her mama was paying all the bills because they went from 2 incomes to 1. And she was going to school, doing all of this stuff and handling everything at the house. And she say, I'm looking for a relationship like my mama and daddy. And I'm sitting up here saying like, ma'am, you got on red bottoms. It don't sound like you looking for a relationship where you got to have 5 kids and work and get a degree and take care of a man. It sounds like you looking for a man to do what your mama did for a man, which is what most women do. I want a man that's going to do this, that, and the other, but everything you saying that you want him to do is what women do for men, not the other way around. So women are actually looking for a woman in a male frame because the reality is women just like sleeping with men. They don't actually like men.
Wow. Women, y'all got some splaining to do. Look, I'm trying to hold it down for y'all. You know, she tough now. I'm trying to hold it down for y'all. But she hitting on some cylinders now. I mean, I don't know how much longer I can hold off. What are your thoughts on women bringing men around their children?
I think they should stop.
Especially their little girls.
I think they should stop.
Is there any time that it's like remotely safe to bring a man around your child?
Nope, it's a gamble every time. Because when you understand the mind of a man, see, here's the thing. When you listen to men, all you got to do is turn on the podcast. All you got to do is read the comments. All you got to do is look at the world around you. Men always tell you, we visual creatures. We want them. We like youth and beauty. The men are telling you what they want. In my book, 41 Shades of Men, chapter 18 is called the I Want Your Child Man. And I got confessions of a pedophile in there, letting you know the details of what a man that targets children wants. It is not safe. And then on top of that, the canceled professor, he was on Diary of a CEO, and he let it be known that the number one predictor of child abuse is having a step parent in the house. This is the number one.
You know, I spoke with a former cop, and I was floored when he told me. He said right there in that same chair you sitting in, and he told me that the number one call that they get is for stepdaddies touching children. I was floored. I was like, what? I thought it would be domestic abuse. You know, I thought it would be that. He was like, no, it is stepdaddies and, you know, other men or whatever touching on kids. That's number one call they get.
Yeah. And but women gonna keep doing it because women are desperate. See, women have all of the capabilities. Women have a neurological advantage over men. Women have all the abilities to perform and do things in society that they actually just want to be lazy and let men do, right? Dr. Amen, he did 40,000 brain scans between males and females and lets you know that it's a significant difference between male and female brains, and that women's prefrontal cortex is a lot more active, which means that they have better executive functioning. They have the ability to multitask. They have better impulse control, all this stuff. And they're designed to be very selective in their relationships sexually.
So would you had picked Kamala over Trump?
No.
Well, why not? Because you just said that women have all of this make these great executive decisions.
No, I didn't say they make great executive decisions. I say they have the brain capability to do so.
Okay.
But just because you got the potential to do something don't mean that you live up to your potential. Women are lazy. They want men to do the work that was intended for them to do.
So you would have voted for Trump?
I ain't vote for neither one of them.
You didn't vote for anyone?
No.
How come you don't vote?
Because, like I asked you before, you are very well aware of local politics, and I understand that local politics is where you really have say-so. Your voice is more heard. People don't even participate in local politics. They don't even know who their city councilman is. They don't even know the structure of government. But we're going to take people who don't have no self-discipline, no self-control, don't know nothing about their own life, and we're going to give them a controller that's plugged up for them to vote on foreign politics and federal policy? No, ain't nobody giving you that kind of control. Y'all, the average American reads on a 6th grade level. And Kamala, literally to get the to get the black vote, what did she do? She got entertainers. And what entertainers did she get? She got hoes.
But Trump had entertainers too.
No, but she got hoes.
Well, Trump had entertainers too.
Men have an issue in this world, right? Men got an issue that ain't nobody focusing on. So men screaming to the top of their lungs about the issues that they're having, right? High suicide rates, high addictive rates, broken families, child support, all this. Nobody's listening to them. And one of the big complaints that men have is about whoredom. And we understand why this is a problem. And so
break it down.
You get somebody that will have WAP up there, that'll have Plan B up there, that promotes quote unquote sexual recklessness, because that's what those artists promote, right? And if we care about the kids, which people say they procreate or have sex to care about the kids, but they practically abandon the kids and abuse the children, and then you have women using these children to get over on the system, why would we support somebody who also puts out the idea that we're going to continue to facilitate this behavior and we're not hearing your problems, right? So there's a reason why a lot of men were running towards Trump, because right now, ever since Kevin Samuels came out, Kevin Samuels gave men the open door to say out loud what they had been saying behind closed doors forever. And so now they have sparked some kind of a online revolution to see that we might have somebody that could take our issues into consideration, that might hear our voice for a change. And who did Trump appeal to more? The men, trying to get the men out to the vote polls.
And I get you, because people decide, what's most important to them. And I guess for some people, especially black males who voted for him, police shooting black men in the head and getting away with it wasn't all that important. Because Trump already said he was going to give them full immunity. He's going to grant them full immunity. So I guess that wasn't that big of a deal. It was more important that Kamala didn't have hoes on the stage.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Trump is not running during the time of Tamir Rice, Walter Scott, Trayvon Martin, See see, humans have a attention span of a fish, and their memory ain't that good. So what's going on right now is what matter. Because if black folks really cared about history and things, they would be taking school and education very seriously, right? Because right now, a lot of our ancestors turning over in their graves looking at how we acting right now in the public, right? You fight all this time to get black folks an opportunity to read, and they don't want to read. They won't be on TikTok dancing, right? So black folks' attention span ain't that long. So since ain't no cop shootings that happen right now, that's in our peripheral. What's going on right now is we got to control the womb, because these women is out of control, and y'all speaking to what we feel right now. This is what we feel right now. Now, bring out another slew of Trayvon Martins and all of that, then the tone might change. But right now, the tone is, it's a bunch of hoes out here and we need to control them. I mean, that's the tone.
Wow. It's a bunch of hoes out here and we need to control them. Who's more responsible for the condition of society, men or women?
I would say women.
Yeah, and how so?
Say again?
How so?
Because women are the holders of the womb. See, with more power come more responsibility. We can all agree that women hold the power because women are the gatekeepers to sex. That's the main thing that drives men's behaviors, is the opportunity. So if men have to, let me try it. Okay, this is what she respond to. If I do this, then I'll be able to get my sexual reward. Well, why aren't women using sex as a tool to foster great communities? Because women will use sex as a tool to get a purse. She'll use sex as a tool to get her ego stroked, to try to manipulate somebody to marry her. So why don't you use this same tool to foster good behavior in men? Why don't you use this same tool to develop cohesive communities? That sounds too much like right. Because sex is a tool. Everybody use it as a tool. Men use it as a tool. But men do not have the power unless the woman agrees. So now we got to look at the woman. Why you like what you like? Because, see, you sleep with what you like. You have a reason that you inviting these certain men into your house. What is it? See, that's the problem. Women's desires. See, a man can desire what he want all day, because see, here's the difference. Men and women have two different fantasies. The man's fantasy is far more practical than a woman. Because see, a man can go to the strip club and pay a chick to perform for him for a certain period of time, and she can be that fantasy. The more money you have, you can get a woman to do whatever you want her to do. You can pick who you want, and you can make her play that fantasy. A woman can't buy her fantasy out of a man. She can't pay for it. No amount of money, no amount of slave labor, no amount of force will get a woman her fantasy. This knight in shining armor who's 6 feet tall, got millions of dollars, and only see her and don't want no other woman but her. She can't pay for that, because that don't exist. But she'll use sex to try to get that. But you won't use sex to foster great communities, to get men out to the voting polls, to make them better citizens, because men want sex. And the reason why the bar is in hell is because women put it there. Women put the bar in hell because women have wicked desires, and they like, like the men say, the women like bad boys. Women like wicked.
You know, I saw a woman today on a video. She had a hair, I think it was blonde or something. It was short, really, really short cut. And this woman said, I like dope dealers and killers. Like, you know, and she was an attractive woman, you know, like from the outside. Obviously, her personality was riding to the core. But this woman said, I like drug dealers and killers. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm wondering how many baby daddies she got, you know, how many dudes are in prison that she's dated, how many dudes she done set up, how many dudes she done been with, and when they got killed or they got popped and went to prison, that she ended up with their rivals.
Right. Yeah.
And what is she going to pass on to her girls?
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. Because here's the thing. We are energetic beings. We are frequencies. So women already hate other women. Women are always constantly in jealousy mode. This is an energy. This is a frequency. So jealousy, hatred, envy, all that stuff, these are low vibrational frequencies. So when you act and go have sex with somebody based on desire mixed in with jealousy and competition, what kind of energy is the baby that you are cooking? What kind of womb does that baby have to sit in for 9 months? If you cheat with a man because you want to get back at a woman or whatever, you doing this out of evil. And so you get pregnant in the process. What kind of energy is that baby cooking in? Right? So the mentality of the woman and how she moves, and then the mentality of the man that she selects, because once a man ejaculates it to a woman, he's transferring all his thoughts and feelings and emotions into her body. So you're talking about a Molotov cocktail that a baby got to sit in, this low energy, for 9 months. Who is more responsible for the production of this society when it's all based on desire and choice? The woman's desires create problems. A man can desire what he wants all day and live in fantasy, and if he got a little money, he can pay for it for a night. The only problem with the male's desires is that when he can't control himself and he begins to rob, kill, steal, and commit murder and all of those things, which is the reason why you need other men to be able to control this raw sexual energy in a man. But for a woman, this pervasive sexual fantasies and stuff, it can create a lot of problems if the woman don't have no self-control.
You're a thinker. You're a woman with self-control.
Mm-hmm.
You know how women are.
Mm-hmm.
What made you think it was a good idea to start dating a woman?
Well, I told you earlier, I've been around males most of my life. I ain't really had much contact with women. So because I'm a woman, I'm thinking that women think like me.
They're thinking like you. Yeah,
they think like me.
Right.
And I didn't realize that I was not like most women. I didn't realize that. Because now if you ask most women think I think like a man. The men think I'm trying to be a man. So maybe my thought process is more in alignment with a man than I originally thought. Because I'm a woman. And I got good sense, okay? I got real good sense. And I think logically and rationally about things. I didn't realize that women didn't know what they want. Because, see, I always knew what I wanted. And I realized, I came to the conclusion that what I want ain't logical the more I learn more and more about men. I'm asking for something that, damn, the men ain't capable of doing. So I'm cool with that. I let that go. But with women, this is not the case. If you show a woman facts, she will try to find a way to still fit this into her desires. She will still try to figure out how to create a unicorn. Anytime I tell women all this stuff, then she'll say, what's the solution? How do we fix men? Ma'am, what do you mean fix men? There's nothing wrong with men. The only reason that you think it's something wrong with a man is because you're judging men on the rubric of a woman. You're taking a ruler and measuring him based on the performance capabilities of a woman. And that's actually what society has collectively done. They're labeling boys with mental issues, ADHD, and all of this stuff only because they are comparing a male's performance to girls. And if you stop doing that and compare men to men, you would get a completely different outcome. But women think that the key is to fix a man to be and perform like a woman. That's why she think they broken. Oh, men are broken. No, you're broken because you're still trying to force this man to be your version of a woman that you like sleeping with, because women only like sleeping with black penis. That's what it is. That's it. They don't like the man. They're trying to take the man out of the male body and reprogram him with female thinking. So it'd be cool if you was 6'5", 6 figures, more than 6 inches worth of Peter Wacker, all that. If you good
Peter Wacker.
Yeah,
Write
Peter.
that down.
Peter.
I've never heard that expression. It's a synonym that should be added. Peter Wacker. Okay.
Yeah. So if you do all of that, and then you be romantic and bring her flowers. Now, men don't like this romantic stuff. This is all women stuff, right? But you want to force a man to perform for this movie you got in your head. So you want him to come bring you roses. You don't care about what he wants. You don't care about what's going on with him, because men lead in suicide. They lead in alcoholism. They lead in. You don't care about what's causing this man to crack under all this pressure. You don't care. You still want him to go to work 12 hours a day, come home and make you a romantic dinner, rub your back, rub your feet, and screw you in a way that is just so mind blowing that you can think about this for eternity. This all she want, right? She don't want to hear that a man don't want to just stay with one woman. Listen, I tell them like this. Look, what y'all asking men to do is be your friends. If your favorite candy bar is a Snicker, that mean you just love Snickers, and then somebody come and tell you to be best friends with a Snicker, and that Snicker sitting right across from you. And it started taking this little wrap off, and all you see is some goddamn veins, dark chocolate. It's like, damn, if I just had 1 second, just 1 minute with this damn Snicker. I hear you. Oh, yeah, when you was at the manufacturer, and damn, that motherfucker. Just 1 second. This is what happens in the mind of a man with a woman, right? And the woman, in her mind, she think that we could be best friends. You can be best friends with your favorite candy bar, right? She wants to figure out how to stop the man from getting bored with the type of food that he like to eat. So if you put, what do you do? Meal prep for 7 days. By day 3, you tired of eating that shit. Women want a man to be with them for 20 years and still act like he done slept with her for the first time. As if he ain't got bored about 3 days into this whole marriage. Maybe 3 weeks into the whole marriage. Why is it okay for me to say this? Why don't I have a problem? I'm 38 years old. According to the men, I done hit the wall. You know why I don't care? And I'm cool with the truth, because I'm not in the market trying to get a man to pay me no attention. I don't have an ego where I need to be the center of attention for eternity. I don't want to use sexual power to manipulate a man to just focus on me. I have no intention of selling my body for eternity just to keep being the focus, the center of a man's attention. But that's what women want to do. They want to do that.
What do you want? Do you want your next relationship be with a man or a woman?
Me and men ain't compatible.
You and men are not
No,
compatible.
we're not compatible.
So you're going to look for a woman that's like you?
I already got a woman. I've been with her for 8 months. Yeah.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's her. Yeah, that's my girlfriend.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Because look, I'm not submissive. I'm not submitting. I have my own dreams, goals. I'm ex-military. I got commissioned as an officer, right? My feet still jacked up from walking all them doggone ruck marches, okay? I understand what it means to be a leader, because real recognize real. Game recognize game. Leader recognize leader. You not coming into my life telling me what to do and to put my shit up so I can support you and just focus on you. No, either you gonna accept me for who I am or you not, but a man cannot accept a woman being as strong as him. No, a man wants somebody to be submissive. I'm telling you straight up, I'm not gonna be submissive. I'm not even going to pretend to be something just so it can satisfy. I don't need that kind of validation. I validate myself. So me and men are not compatible. They need women that'll jump to their every whim. They need a woman to stroke their ego. They depend on that. I'm not the one for that. So I'm cool. I'm not going to lay on my back and just be the one that you need to call to heal you, sexual healing, whatever the case may be, and jump to your call. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not producing no more kids. I got one child. That's enough, right? So I'm totally, in my mind, I'm overqualified for men. They can tell me I'm disqualified. It don't matter. Me and you are not compatible. I accept that. The problem with humanity is they can't accept reality for what it is, right? I understand what men say they want. I don't fit the mold of what a man wants, and I'm not trying to, okay? So for me, I would rather be with somebody who's more in alignment with who I am. And since I have come to the conclusion that men are incapable of love and what their nature is, me and a man's nature is totally incompatible.
So are women also incapable of love?
Women are not incapable, they just not loving. In order for you
But hold on, stop right there. Let me break this down. So women are not incapable
but they're
of
not loving.
but they're just not loving.
Correct.
And
So-
men are just incapable. We ain't got a shot in hell.
No, you don't.
Good
and
Lord.
and I'm gonna show you. So I used to drive trucks, right? I don't drive trucks anymore, but I still got my Class A with my tanker and hazmat endorsements on it. I can drive trucks, but I don't drive trucks. My daughter right now is incapable of driving trucks. Ain't nothing that I could do to teach my 6-year-old how to get in the 18-wheeler and shift gears and drive in Houston. Right now, as of now, my daughter is incapable of driving trucks. I'm not incapable, I can, I'm just not. What I'm saying is that women have all the functionality and the capabilities to do a whole lot of stuff. They're wired for it. They just not doing it. As a matter of fact, most women want to give up their duties to force men to do things. Men have, y'all Y chromosome got 55 genes on it. A woman's X chromosome got over 900. Now, if women got 2 X chromosomes, both having over 900 genes, you got 1 X chromosome with over 900, but your Y chromosome only got 55 genes. Don't it sound like you might be incapable of doing some things that women are absolutely beyond capable of doing?
Yeah, so that leads me to say I got to go to the house and tell my woman she need to do all this shit from now on. Because I ain't really, I'm not as capable.
Well, here's the thing.
She got to do everything, man.
Well, that's why
she can do the next podcast. She's gonna be on.
Well, most women are doing most of the housework and all this other stuff. They doing the emotional labor, and they're trying to get men to do this, and they keep saying that men ain't doing. That's the reason why women are complaining about everything. It's studies on all of this. It's literally scientific studies that show that there is an inverse relationship between males and females. The women go this way and the men go this way on a whole bunch of stuff, right? And the women complaining about everything that they don't understand is native to a man. See, women and children are the community. The way this was supposed to be set up, the male take it all back to, let's go to evolutionary biology, evolutionary psychology. When you take all of this cameras and all this stuff away, in the wild, a man's only job was to try to work out, buff himself up, be out there in the wilderness alone to conquer other males. He had to spend all his energy fighting other males and dominating just to get an opportunity to pass his genes along. And his job was to pass them along through as many females as possible so that way his genes can last. We took that aggressive male out of the wild and put him into a social environment that tells him in order to be social, you got to go all the way against your nature. Everything that's native to you is now a crime. Everything that supports your natural makeup is a crime. This is why we came up with the word gentleman. Gentleman. We had to create the gentleman, round him and make him smooth and cut his raw, aggressive nature down to make him palatable to fit into a social setting. So the women, because of their sex addictions and their power-driven addictions, they hate each other as women, but these duties were actually designed to be shared amongst the women collectively. No one woman was supposed to be doing all the housework, but women want to do all the housework because they want to own their own man. And so since she boggles herself down with a bunch of slave labor, she wants to force the man who wasn't designed to do all of that. She want to force him to do it, and with her, which creates a power struggle. Because the men don't want to do it. And there's a reason they don't want to do it. Because they're not wired to. And it's an extra load onto them trying to do all this stuff that women are naturally capable of doing. But if women didn't hate each other so much, then they could do it together. So now they force the man to lie that he's monogamous when he know damn well he's not. He's still messing with other women, but you force him to break up the community, to help you. You force him to help you break up the community because you can't get along with other women and you want to be the center of attention. Men need women and women need each other. And so
women don't need men?
Not as much as men need other men. Men need women.
And men need other men. Hold on, that don't sound right.
See, you thinking about sex. Yeah. But how do you control society with men? You need men to dominate other men to keep structure. For men need other men because a man has to break the son's attachment to his mother and help him become a structured man. The men need each other to help structure themselves because a man ain't going to be structured off of no woman. A woman don't have the ability to enforce structure on a man. Only another man can do that.
Okay, in that context, I get you.
Yeah. So we have to stop thinking outside of sex. We have to stop thinking inside of sex. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we have to see things for more than just sex to see why we need who and who we need. So men depend because of this sexual drive. Because men don't really have the full spectrum on the right side of their brain in the creative department. They bounce and feed off of women. The woman's gaze and her validation is so important to a man. It inspires him to do a lot of stuff. So without women around, men would practically just kill each other. If all the women was gone, there would be no purpose for a man.
I agree with that because if there were no women here, I'm killing everything.
Yeah.
I'm killing everything.
It's killing everything.
I'm not living without women.
Right. So men absolutely need women. Women need each other because a man is not here to help you cook, clean, and do all of this work and all this. He doesn't want to do that. His motivation is something else. So you share these duties amongst other women, right? Y'all cook together. You plan together, but since women hate each other and they hate themselves because they can't love each other when they hate themselves, and they can't love each other when they in competition to try to own a man. See, a man don't mind having multiple women, but he can't be around multiple women too long because the women don't know how to control themselves. So the collective amount of women would drive a man crazy. But if women were actually on a mature and one accord, since they act like they can't get over sex, if they were actually smart enough, they would just share the man. They already sharing the man anyway. But you forcing him to lie to you so that y'all all feel special and the only one on the earth. Women's ego and power and power-hungry attitudes is what's breaking up the community. It's women's egos that's breaking up the community. Because if women could get along and work with each other and accept men for who they are and allow the man to be in his nature, the world would probably be a whole lot better place. And they probably wouldn't have birthed as many children that they don't care about and just throw them off to society if they were controlled in that way. But I believe that we are too far gone to even go back to those dynamics.
Wow. Good stuff. Poignant statement.
Mm-hmm.
I really do appreciate you coming on the show. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give you the last word. I mean, like not even a word. I'm gonna give you the last words. What do you have going on? You know, right now, like that the people can get behind.
Yes. So right now I'm working on. Well, I have my workshop, Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded. I believe that if men didn't feel like they needed to use love as a power card to get women to do what they wanted them to do, if they weren't, I think it would be so much easier for men to accept that they're not capable of love, because then they wouldn't need to use love to manipulate women. But they know if women don't believe that they could love, that women would just leave them alone altogether. But that's really not the point of it. The point of love is to be able to accept truth and facilitate a world of harmony that works for everybody. And if you understand that men are not capable of doing certain things, you would not put the added pressure on them to force them to perform beyond their capabilities. And this would allow men to perform and do things that actually suit their nature, where they won't have to stress themselves out trying to do something that they know they're not able to do, right?
So for clarity,
Mm-hmm.
we're not capable of loving
Mm-hmm.
Women. Are we capable of loving our children and our family members and friends?
Men are capable of caring. I never said that a man could not care. But to love is something that is so much...
It just sounds deep. I want to love.
So much,
I don't just want to care.
But see, it's so much higher, because, see, love requires so much self-discipline. It requires so much willpower that you have to sustain day in and day out. So, because to truly love, you have to understand humanity and accept people for who they are and not force them to be what you want them to be. Parents are too controlling over their children. They want to force children to live the way they want them to live. A lot of parents live vicariously through their children, right? So when we start really getting into the dynamics of love, we have to understand that love is not an emotion. Love is really a structured set of things that have to be done.
Right.
Yeah. So there is no such thing as unconditional love. Love is very conditional, but not the way people think it is. The first component of love is seeking understanding. Without understanding, there is no love. We can stop the conversation on love when there's no understanding. And most people do not have the desire or enough care to understand somebody for who they are and accept them for who they are. They don't. They don't. So love is just too much for people to do. Most people can care about somebody, but how can you love other people when most folks don't love themselves? Women out here desperate as all get out, because they don't love themselves. Women don't even understand their own nature in order to be able to conquer it. Because the key to living this life is to understand your nature and conquer it. Because the only reason that you losing in this world is due to your inability to conquer yourself. And you know why that is? Because everybody is playing to your nature. Every single person on this planet, the media, the news station, your relationship partners, they're all playing to your nature. And in order to win in life, you got to learn how to beat yourself. And the only way you can beat yourself is to understand and study yourself. And people don't do no self-study. They don't. So there's no way that they could love anybody else and understand anybody else, because they don't understand themselves. And they have no desire to, because it's too much work.
Well, damn. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not mean to mess your head up today. I hope you learned something. Hey, you brought it. You game on. And I want to say this, just to make sure that everybody understands that I brought you on the show, not to debate you, because I know some people are going to be like, you didn't challenge her enough. You didn't. I didn't. That's not why I brought you on the show. I didn't bring you on the show to debate you. I brought you on the show to get an understanding.
Right.
I brought you on the show to understand you.
Right, and I appreciate
because you're not the only person who thinks like you think. And so I thought that it would be a worthy conversation, because the whole idea of communication, conversations, is to understand, right? And if you're not seeking understanding, you're not trying to understand. You're not going to ever get it. So that's what I do. I try to seek understanding, and obviously, give people information and instructions to help them navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. Thank you for coming on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Princella, the Queenmaker.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. No more talk.